So there's one plant I really wish would come into bloom in spring rather than summer. But hydrangeas, hydrangeas get all the play. They get talked about. They're so showy. They grow here in the mountains of Arizona. They don't like the sun. They don't like wind. They want to be in that more shaded area and containers underneath the patio by the front door, in a raised bed off the back patio. They would love. They're spectacular. So I'm growing hydrangeas in containers, mainly so I can control the soil. So they like more acidic kind of soil. And so they like acidic water, acidic soil. They like acidic food. They like acid. They should be growing on Mars or something. But here in Arizona, we've got more alkaline water, alkaline soil, alkaline. And so the blue hydrangeas tend to go more pink or violet, or they're not true rich blue like they would in the Midwest or the East. So, but they're just as stunning. Just the flower's a little different, unless you're juicing it with a whole bunch of acidic stuff, which I'll share how to do that. I generally just go, I don't want blue. I don't want to struggle. I'm going with pink hydrangeas or white hydrangeas. Why fight it? Go. The shrub is spectacular. The flowers are the same pom-pom. It's bigger than a softball. And so I just go, well, blue's pretty, but this pink one, it's even better. The purple ones, we've got a new purple variety of hydrangea that seems to hold its color better than the blues. And so it's a new variety. So I'm still playing with it, but you can grow hydrangeas. The negative is they should be blooming when everyone is shopping, planting the gardens, but really they show up at the garden centers now. They're showy now. You want to shop them now. You want to plant them now, because this is when they show off. You can see the color, what they're going to be. You can see how big. You can see what you can expect. Now, really, there's two kinds of hydrangeas. Your traditional one that your grandparents grew, they generally grow on second-year wood. So they bloom on second-year wood, kind of like a grape or berries. They're the same way. You don't want that at higher elevation gardens. You want a hydrangea that blooms on first-year wood. So it hibernates underground, comes back fresh like a perennial every year from the roots, and then blooms on that new wood. If you've got a hydrangea that resets to the ground and it kills off that last year's stems, that's where it was going to bloom. All of a sudden you go, oh, what happened? I planted this thing and it has never bloomed again. That's because the cold, that extreme temperature change from day to night resets some varieties of hydrangeas to where it just doesn't bloom again. That you never get to second year wood. You always want, so we tend to focus on, here in Prescott, Arizona, Waters Garden Center, we focus on varieties that rebloom on first year wood. And so there's certain varieties. That's where your garden experts can help guide you to the right variety. Otherwise, treat it like an annual. Enjoy the flowers. If it doesn't bloom again next year, we'll go, well, Ken told me this. I knew I got the wrong variety, but it was cheap. I got it from the box store. There we go. It's good enough. Pay 10 extra bucks. Get the variety that's going to give you years of enjoyment. That's a perennial that comes back year after year after year, that blooms every year. So what you do with getting them to stay blue, so I mentioned sometimes the blue varieties, that's the one that's on the front of Fine Garden magazine. It's all the architecture landscape magazine. They've got the blue one. I think it's harder to grow, but if you got to have that, there's ways to do that. And so I use a lot of potting soil, which the main ingredient in a good potting soil is peat moss. Peat moss is very acidic. And so it keeps that acid, keeps the alkalinity of that soil, of your water, keeps it in check and makes it more acidic. When you're fertilizing, fertilize with a fertilizer, plant food that has high phosphorus. Now, remember, nitrogen, phosphorus, potash. That middle number is very acidic, and it also causes things to bloom. So you get a double benefit. Bigger flowers, they're better color, and it makes things more acidic. I kind of do both. So my hydrangeas at home, they're 2 or 3 years old. I forget. They're in a container. They come back every year and enjoy them. They're starting to bloom now. So they seem to bloom about now. When the monsoons are about to hit, that's when they bloom. What I'll do is I'll sprinkle some all-purpose plant food as a kind of steak and potato for that plant. The main ingredient in that is cottonseed meal. Again, cottonseed meal is very acidic. That plant food also has sulfur. Soil sulfur is very acidic. It's always trying to lower the pH. And then a couple times a month, I'll hit that. I'll add some flower power, which is a water soluble food. So the all-purpose food is a granular, sprinkled on the ground. When the water hits it, it releases over a very long period of time. Flower power is water soluble. You add it, a scoop of this into your water, and you water the plants in a couple times a month. Again, it's 48% phosphorus. It's very acidic, and so it's going to lower that pH. And if you do those two things, peat moss, the right kind of foods, those two foods, you're going to have spectacular flowers that are the right color, yes, for the mountains of Arizona. And that's how you grow hydrangeas up here at elevation. Be back with Lisa Waterslane after this.